Juan-o's world.
My baby mama trippin', she been going through my phone. Tired of me cheating, I can't leave these hoes alone. Hella pics, hella tips on my cash app. It's like hold up a minute.
What up, though, y'all? How y'all living? So, I guess last night, well, not I guess, last night I pulled up in Dawgface comments, while they was doing while they was doing they live, they YouTube streets thing. Now, some of y'all may know, some of y'all may not know, but I done got cussed out by all the Detroit OGs for calling it the YouTube streets. You know what I'm saying? I laid that foundation down and the explanation about it, because at first it was just things that were said in comments and the rumors, you know what I'm saying? But I related it and tagged it to a lot more. Now, I'm a content creator, so I'm not here to bicker and argue about things that I may have started that other people use. I don't really give a fuck about that. That ain't what we do over here in Juan-o's world. But so people want to know the disagreement between me and Dawgface. Well, it started with that Trap Boy Blue interview and the big homie CC situation. I didn't really appreciate how he went about that. And then, to my understanding, the agreement was if one of us had a disagreement with the other, then we would holler at each other before we took it to the internet. Now, I'm old school. When you make an agreement or a deal with me, whether I like it or not, if I agree to it, then I'm going to stand to it and stand on it. I didn't feel like guys really stood to it. Now, it wasn't my business to take that to the internet, even if other people may have. It wasn't my business to start dissing or player hating or trying to block anybody. That's not what I do. I honestly wasn't even going to elaborate on any of this further than what I did last night, because to me it has no value. Now, to others it may have value, but it doesn't necessarily go along with my brand to be bickering and arguing with niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's not really what I do. I'm Mr. Community Dick, not Mr. Pull Up On. Now, this is where we as black men get ourselves into a lot of shit. You got to stay in your lane. My lane is Mr. Community Dick. Now, if you jump into my lane trying to impinge on my traffic, then I'm going to have to roll you over. But I'm not going to jump in your lane impinging on your type of traffic, because that ain't what I do. With that being said, we can all agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? Now, me and Dawgface is going to have a face-to-face. But to me, that's not the internet's business. To him, that may be the internet's business. Now, this is where me and Dawgface had an actual issue at. But the disagreement started before then, when him and alnuke got into it. I felt, or to my understanding, it was things that I viewed as immoral or line crossing done on both sides. So my thing was, once it gets to a point of line crossing, who can say who is wrong? Once it gets to a point of immorality, who can say who's wrong? If I rob a bank, but you steal out of grandma's purse, which one of us can say who is wrong? We both still in here. And that was my thing. It's impossible to point a finger at somebody for things that they're doing when you're doing something similar. Now, that's not to say who did what on either side, but that was my point. Now, I also got into it with alnuke in this situation where I was telling him he was a little bit too heavy-handed. And he, who I must say was right, was when you're dealing with somebody like Dawgface, there's no such thing as too heavy-handed. Now, in my going back and forth with Dawgface, he said some shit in the live that he know I ain't want nobody to know. Now, it's something that people know that know me, but it's not nothing that I promote. You understand? Now, he know it's things that I know about him that I would never say on the internet. He know that. But he, in that moment, he didn't have no line, no filter. And that's what makes that kind of dangerous. But that's his lane. That's what he does. I can't hate him for being who he is. I'm just not that way. That's not what we do over here in Juan-o's world. You feel me? And the thing about it is the internet is entertained off of that type of stuff. So I can't tell him he's wrong for providing that type of content to the people that fucks with him. But I can tell him he's wrong when he go against the little homie that looked out when shit went bad. Not to say he necessarily needed me to look out, but who's to say he didn't? But what we do know is that I did. With that being said, whatever else got to be said to be talked about between me and him. And for the record, y'all seen that shit? He said he was paying for the tea and the crumpets because I'm broke. So we gonna get that in. Now moving on, this whole situation about Meech, people wondering why I ain't said anything. Well, you know how I get down in the YouTube streets. I like to do my investigations before I get to saying this and that about people. And what I can tell you about my investigation into this Meech situation is Meech is not who you think he is. And just because a person makes money does not mean they deserve all the accolades that you thrust upon them because they're making money. He is a cunning man. He is an intelligent brother. He is well read and well spoken. You know what I'm saying? But he made a lot of mistakes in trusting the wrong people, putting the wrong people in power. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't just with the Tammy Cohen situation. And the thing about the Tammy Cohen situation, what a lot of y'all keep leaving out of Cuffy's paperwork, is there was a CS2. And it got to a point where Tammy Cohen quit dealing with Cuffy, and the detective Cromer put CS2 on Cuffy. And that's when the case went down and he was charged into this and that and that and this. What everybody else keeps also leaving out is Cuffy is in there for murders. Meech obviously couldn't connect him to no murder from jail, especially not nothing that happened. You know what I'm saying with this? And let's be clear. Did Roddy Rebel have a choice in the matter when Bobby Shmurda took more time? Could he say, no, nigga, your career hot. You can't do that? No. Once somebody agrees to cooperate, whatever they deal is they deal. And if they deal is to help you, then you get that help. Now people want to know, was Meech aware of what happened? People want to know, was Meech aware that she was a snitch? To my understanding, at some point he did become aware. But at that point, what could he do? Now, what people don't know is he been cut ties with Tammy years ago. What people also don't know is that Life Rights deal to him was malarkey because she was getting 30% off the top. So while people talking about the family made money and this, that, or whatever, they didn't make anything. And what's funny about it is I'm willing to bet that 50 Cent knew the whole time and took advantage of it. Why wouldn't he? That's why Meech ain't smiling in that picture. Now, some of you may have guessed it. Meech got somebody that don't have his best interest running his social media accounts and being his emissary once again. And that's why shit look fucked up whenever you going to deal with him or talk to him or whatever the case may be. And that's why things getting out about this was said and that was said, knowing damn well a crew that tight, that's not supposed to happen. But see, I've been in this situation before. Sometimes you making so much money, it covers up the problems. It covers up how people moves, and then it gives people false perception and false pretenses. Like doing certain things that's not okay are okay. And he got a lot going on around him that's not okay. And then it's rumored that he came home to not that much bread, even though he left people in position with a lot of bread. But see, that's a lot of drug dealer stories. And that's my whole thing with Meech. He shouldn't have been trying to do none of this shit that he doing. He got a powerful story as a drug dealer. Should we be celebrating drug dealers? No. And I'm a drug dealer who's telling you that. But the story to be told is still a story to be told. Entertainment is still entertainment. And then the transition and where he at now and what all that shit gets you is catastrophic. Because you're talking about single-handedly the richest person that we know of to touch cocaine. He could tell you what a room full of money look like for real. With that being said, his legacy, his career, it ain't over. We the only people that throw each other away. Sammy the Bull is one of the biggest snitches ever, and we still watch it. They still watch his interviews. You know, people look past this, but Lucky Luciano snitched on some people before. He snitched on some Jewish heroin dealers early in his career. But y'all hold him up as the biggest gangster ever. Vito Genovese snitched on Lucky Luciano. Hold on. Vito Genovese snitched on Lucky Luciano to get him out the way. Then Lucky Luciano snitched again and had that meeting busted up when Vito Genovese was trying to take over the mob. Like, so snitching goes on. You know, I used to be a part of a pipeline, right? And when you're a part of the pipeline, things go on. You might be a part of the pipeline for cocaine, but sometimes some heroin gonna come through, and you're gonna have to touch that. Or sometimes some weed might come through, shit slow. You're gonna have to touch that. I can remember being a part of a pipeline, and certain crews didn't touch certain things when they would come through. They was disloyal to the pipeline. And I can remember them being sacrificed up by the pipeline too. Like, so this shit goes on. It's not that I agree or disagree. It's just that I'm real enough to tell you this is a part of the motherfucking game. So watch how you play it. My story about Meech or what I got to say is coming soon. And yes, I got actual prison mail of him with his signature, boom bappity bill. You know what I'm saying? The dude don't deserve the rat jacket y'all putting on him. But he was trying to finesse. Once he realized he didn't start the finesse. He didn't start the finesse. He wasn't even aware of it's so many things that was going. This is the thing. You assume you give people, Meech is somebody, a person that has been given too much credit. He had all of these things going on around him that he was not aware of. And then he tried to manage as he became aware of. He couldn't say nothing about the show because it's like his son was making money off of it. But please believe he's been trying to rectify that life right situation for a minute now. And he didn't see his contract with Stars until someone that shall remain nameless helped him get it or got a copy of it for him. And it was peanuts to him. Not peanuts to him as his meaning perception wise, but his part of that deal was peanuts. With that being said, man, we out. And then all of that, Lil Meech made a bankroll. Like, he made some money, but how much money do you think an actor get paid for a TV show? You got Ghost from Power crying about his paycheck. And then it costs for the role. Now you on TV, you got this role, you got a hole that you can't pull up any old kind of way. You can't be flying coach. So that's my take on all of that. You know, all of this shit is kind of making the city look bad, but everybody is not from Detroit. And Meech is from downriver. That's like a whole nother different area, you know. What they get away with, what they allowed to do over there is different than what we do and how we roll here. And y'all know it. I'm on the internet, all in the YouTube streets, talking about actual Detroit drug dealers that was millionaires as well. We out. And I mean, shit, shout out to Meech. Still a great story. He did his thing, and it is what it is. And if you selling drugs thinking people won't tell, they will. If you thinking people won't point an elbow, they will. And if you thinking it's not a treacherous game, then you're a goddamn fool. That's why I retired.